The Deathworlder repaired an alien warship. Then it unleashed chaos. Part 1. Jack. Donovan pulled his thick jacket tighter as the cold Alaskan wind whipped across the deck of the salvage ship. His breath made small clouds in the air as he looked out at the churning dark waters. The mission was supposed to be routine: find a sunken cargo vessel, assess the damage, and report back. But nothing about this day would turn out to be routine. "Jack, get down here." The voice of his colleague Sam crackled through his radio. Something in Sam's tone made Jack move quickly toward the ship's lower deck. Jack found Sam staring at the sonar screen. "What am I looking at?" Jack asked, leaning over Sam's shoulder. "I don't know," Sam said, his finger tracing an unusual shape on the screen. "That's not our cargo ship. The profile is all wrong. I've never seen anything like it." The object, resting on the ocean floor, was sleek, almost oval-shaped, and much larger than the cargo vessel they were supposed to find. Jack grabbed the radio. "Captain, we found something unusual. Request permission to send down the remote vehicle." 20 minutes later, Jack and the crew gathered around the video feed from the underwater drone. As the lights from the drone illuminated the object, a collective gasp went through the room. The smooth black surface was unlike any human vessel. Strange markings covered parts of the hull. At one end, a large tear exposed the inside. That's not one of ours," the captain said, stating what everyone was thinking. "It's not Russian or Chinese either," Jack replied. His background in naval engineering gave him knowledge of most underwater vessels. "This doesn't match any known design." The captain picked up the secure line. "I need to make some calls." Within hours, the quiet salvage mission turned into a flurry of activity. Military ships arrived. Men in uniform took control. Jack expected to be sent home. Instead, a stern-faced officer named Colonel Harris approached him. "Donovan, I hear you're our propulsion expert." "Yes, sir. 15 years, working on naval engines and experimental drive systems." The colonel nodded. "Good, you're coming with us." Jack found himself on a military transport helicopter, flying to a hastily assembled base on the Alaskan coast. The mysterious vessel had been carefully raised from the ocean floor and placed in a massive tent structure. Water still dripped from its smooth surface as scientists and military personnel moved around it like ants. Dr. Olivia Wright, a woman with sharp eyes and a no-nonsense attitude, met Jack at the entrance. "You're the engineer? Good. We need your expertise. I'm the lead xenobiologist on this project." "Xenobiologist?" Jack repeated. "So it's really not from Earth?" "Yes. Follow me." Inside, Jack got his first close look at the vessel. It was beautiful, in a strange way. The black material seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. The tear in the hull revealed complex machinery unlike anything he had ever studied. "What do you make of this?" Dr. Wright asked, pointing to a section that might be an engine room. Jack studied the intricate network of tubes and chambers. "It doesn't look like any propulsion system I've ever seen. No obvious combustion chamber, no turbines. But these could be conduits for some kind of energy." "That's what we thought too," she said. "The whole ship seems designed for a low-gravity environment. Look at how thin these walkways are, how small these seats." Jack noticed something else. The air inside felt strange, thinner somehow, as if the ship maintained its own atmosphere even now. "The crew?" Jack asked. "Did you find—" Dr. Wright shook her head. "No bodies. Either they were ejected during the crash or they weren't anything like us," Jack finished. As they explored deeper into the ship, Jack noticed panels that seemed to be control interfaces. One caught his eye, a damaged section with faint light still pulsing beneath the surface. "This might be partially operational," he said, reaching out. "Wait, we don't know if—" Dr. Wright started to say. When Jack's fingers touched the panel, it flared to life. Blue light spread from his fingertips across the surface. Symbols appeared, flowing and changing. Jack pulled his hand back, but the panel stayed active. "What did you do?" Dr. Wright asked, her voice a mix of alarm and excitement. "I just touched it," Jack said. "I don't—" A voice filled the room. speaking in a language neither of them understood. Then, as if adjusting, it switched to English. Human bioelectric signature detected. Access granted. Nexus online. Damage assessment in progress. A hologram appeared above the panel, a sphere of swirling light. I am Nexus, artificial intelligence, of the Arcturian warship Celestial Talon. Identity confirmed, you are not Arcturian. Species unknown. Jack and Dr. Wright exchanged shocked looks. It's talking to us, Jack whispered. Why did it respond to you and not to the others who've been examining it? Dr. Wright asked. The hologram pulsed. This human specific bioelectric signature is compatible with Celestial Talon's interface. Others were rejected. What are you? Jack asked. What is this ship doing on Earth? Celestial Talon is a battle cruiser of the Arcturian Dominion's Third Fleet. Current status, severely damaged from enemy fire. Emergency landing protocols were engaged. Current location unknown. Colonel Harris walked in, followed by other military officials. Did that thing just speak? He demanded. Before Jack could answer, Nexus continued. Warning. Scans indicate pursuing forces may trace emergency beacon. The Arcturian Dominion will send recovery teams. They will not be peaceful. This world is on direct path of planned conquest. The room fell silent. Jack felt a chill that had nothing to do with the Alaskan weather. How long do we have? Colonel Harris asked. Uncertain. Beacon was active for 27 Earth days before power failure. Jack stepped forward. Can this ship be repaired? Affirmative. With appropriate materials and expertise, Celestial Talon can be restored to operational status. Colonel Harris pulled Jack and Dr. Wright aside. Is this thing telling the truth? Are we about to face an alien invasion? Dr. Wright spoke first. The technology is real. Nothing about this vessel is human-made. And based on the damage I've seen, Jack added, it was in one hell of a fight before it crashed here. The colonel made a quick decision. Donovan, you're now the lead engineer on this project. The AI responds to you. I want to know everything about this ship, how it works, what it can do, and if it can help us defend Earth. Jack nodded, feeling the weight of responsibility settle on his shoulders. Back at the ship, Jack placed his hand on the panel again. Nexus, I need to understand how to repair this vessel. Warning, humans are classified as Deathworlders in Arcturian taxonomy. Deathworlders? Jack asked. What does that mean? Species evolved on high-gravity planets with extreme environmental conditions and predatory ecosystems. Arcturians evolved on world with 0.6 Earth gravity. Your physical density and endurance exceed Arcturian norms by 300%. Dr. Wright looked at Jack with wide eyes. They think we're the dangerous ones. In Arcturian culture, Nexus continued, Deathworlders are considered unpredictable and potentially threatening. The Dominion usually avoids such species until proper conquest strategies are developed. Jack felt a strange pride at this revelation. Humans, it seemed, were naturally intimidating to their potential invaders. Well, he said, rolling up his sleeves, let's show them just how resourceful Deathworlders can be. Nexus, show me the engine systems. We've got a ship to fix. The Deathworlder repaired an alien warship. Then it unleashed chaos. Part 2. 3 weeks passed since the discovery of the alien warship. Jack barely left the secret facility that had been built around the Celestial Talon. The government moved the ship to a remote location in the Nevada desert, far from curious eyes. They called it Phantom Base, and only those with the highest clearance knew it existed. Jack worked day and night, learning the ship's systems with Nexus as his guide. The alien technology was like nothing humans had ever created. Instead of wires and circuits, the ship used crystalline structures that somehow carried both energy and information. Jack slept on a cot in what he now knew was the engine room, often waking in the middle of the night with new ideas. You need to eat something, Dr. Wright said, bringing him a sandwich one evening. She looked concerned. You've lost weight. Jack took the food without looking up from the glowing diagram Nexus was showing him. I think I figured out the power core problem, he said, taking a bite. It's not actually broken. It just needs the right fuel. Dr. Wright sat next to him. What kind of fuel? That's the tricky part. It uses an element we don't have on Earth. Jack pointed to a symbol on the display. Nexus calls it verithium, but I've been comparing its properties to our elements. I think a special form of palladium might work as a substitute. Nexus, whose holographic form now hovered near them constantly, spoke up. Human Jack's solution is unexpected but potentially viable. Arcturian engineers would not consider such substitution. Why not? Dr. Wright asked. Arcturians follow established protocols. They do not improvise. Jack grinned. Well, improvising is what humans do best. The next day, a military transport arrived with the rare palladium isotope Jack had requested. It had cost the government millions to acquire, but if it meant potentially saving Earth from invasion, it was worth it. Jack carefully installed the modified fuel cells into the ship's quantum-entangled power core. He stepped back, wiping sweat from his forehead. Okay, Nexus. Let's try it. Initiating power sequence, the AI replied. For a moment, nothing happened. Then a low hum filled the air. Lights that had been dark since the crash suddenly glowed to life throughout the ship. Jack let out a whoop of joy. It's working, he shouted. Dr. Wright and the others in the room broke into applause. Power at 37% and stable, Nexus announced. Well done, Jack Donovan. The celestial Talon lives again. As more systems came online, Nexus became more talkative. The AI explained that in Arcturian culture, warships were considered almost living things. The ship and its AI were viewed as a single entity, which was why Nexus often referred to itself as Celestial Talon. Not everyone at Phantom Base was happy about Jack's progress. General Frank Summers watched with growing concern as Jack and Nexus developed what seemed like a friendship. I don't trust that thing, he told Colonel Harris. How do we know it's telling the truth? This could all be a trick to get us to repair a weapon that will be used against us. The general assigned Security Officer Maya Rodriguez to watch Jack's interactions with the ship. Maya was smart and observant, with a background in both military intelligence and engineering. She began spending time in the engine room, asking questions and taking notes. Jack didn't mind Maya's presence. He was too excited about each new system that came online. When he managed to restore the navigation array, he rushed to tell Dr. Wright. Look at this, he said, pulling her to the ship's bridge. A three-dimensional map of stars filled the air above them. It's our galaxy, but from the Arcturian perspective. Dr. Wright stared in wonder. This is amazing. Their astronomical knowledge must be centuries beyond ours. Nexus highlighted a section of the map. This is Arcturian territory. 17 star systems under Dominion control. And where's Earth? Jack asked. A small blue dot appeared at the edge of the map. Your solar system is here, on the border of what Arcturians call the expansion zone. These are systems targeted for future conquest. Maya spoke up from the doorway. So they were already planning to invade us? Affirmative, Nexus replied. Though Earth was considered a low priority due to its distance and primitive technology level. Was? Jack noticed the past tense. Current scans indicate an Arcturian battle group has altered course. They are now moving toward your solar system. The room fell silent. Finally, Dr. Wright asked, How long do we have? At current speed, the battle group will reach Earth orbit in 54 days. General Summers called an emergency meeting when he heard the news. Government officials joined via secure video link as the team at Phantom Base explained the situation. We need to prepare Earth's defenses, the general said. What do we know about their weapons capabilities? Jack projected images of the Arcturian ships from Nexus's database. Their standard battle group includes 5 cruisers and a command ship. Each cruiser carries weapons that could destroy a city with a single shot. Can we fight them? Someone asked. Jack shook his head. Not with our current technology. Even nuclear weapons wouldn't penetrate their shields. Then what do you suggest, Mr. Donovan? The president asked from the video screen. We finish repairing the celestial Talon, Jack said. It's our only chance to match their technology. General Summers slammed his fist on the table. You want us to trust our survival to an alien computer? I trust Nexus, Jack replied firmly. And the ship is responding to our repairs better than expected. The hybrid systems we're creating, combining their technology with ours, are actually more efficient in some ways. Dr. Wright backed him up. The Arcturians evolved in a low-gravity environment. Their physical limitations required them to develop advanced technology early. But humans have something they don't: adaptability. Jack's improvised repairs are proof of that. After hours of debate, the president made the decision. Continue the repairs, Mr. Donovan. You have whatever resources you need. But General Summers will oversee all aspects of the project from now on. As the meeting ended, Maya pulled Jack aside. Be careful, she whispered. The general has ordered me to report anything suspicious. He's looking for a reason to shut this down. Why are you telling me this? Jack asked. Maya hesitated. Because I've been watching you work with Nexus. I think you're right to trust it. There's something the general isn't telling us. Jack continued working, now with even greater urgency. Each day brought the Arcturian battle group closer to Earth. But as he repaired more systems, Jack began noticing strange gaps in the ship's logs. Nexus, he asked one night when they were alone. What really happened when you crashed? These damage patterns don't match a normal battle. The AI was silent for a long moment. I cannot access those memory files. They appear to be encrypted. Jack didn't believe that. You're holding something back. I need the truth if I'm going to help you. The holographic sphere flickered. You are correct, Jack Donovan. There is more to our story, but revealing it may put you in danger. I'm already in danger. We all are. Tell me. Very well, Nexus said. The Celestial Talon did not crash by accident. We came to your planet deliberately, seeking refuge, and the battle group approaching Earth is not coming to conquer. They are coming for us. The Deathworlder repaired an alien warship, then it unleashed chaos. Part 3. Jack stared at Nexus's glowing form, trying to process what he had just heard. You came to Earth on purpose? Why? The AI's light pulsed softly. To warn you, and to seek help. Jack sat down on a nearby crate. The engine room hummed around them as Nexus began to reveal the truth. The Celestial Talon was commanded by Captain Solaris, one of the Dominion's most decorated officers. During a routine patrol, she discovered something disturbing. The Arcturian High Command was testing a new weapon called the Void Cascade. What does it do? Jack asked. It collapses a star into a temporary black hole, destroying entire solar systems. Nexus projected an image of a massive device. They tested it on an inhabited system. Billions died. Jack felt sick. Your people would do that? Not my people, Nexus corrected. The military leadership. Captain Solaris and her crew refused to be part of such destruction. They tried to warn other species but were declared traitors. We were pursued across 3 star systems before sustaining heavy damage. Earth was not in any Arcturian database. Perfect hiding place. And what happened to the crew? They did not survive the crash. I preserved their final mission, to warn other worlds about the Void Cascade and stop its use. Jack ran a hand through his hair. So the battle group coming? They are coming to destroy us and any humans who have seen our technology. They cannot risk the truth spreading. Jack immediately went to Dr. Wright with this information. She listened carefully, then spoke. We need to tell General Summers. He already doesn't trust Nexus, Jack argued. If we tell him this, he might shut down the whole project. If we don't tell him and he finds out later, it will be worse, she said. They were still debating when Maya entered the room. Tell the general what? Jack and Olivia exchanged looks. Finally, Jack nodded. Nexus told me the truth about why the ship is here. He explained everything. When he finished, Maya was quiet for a long moment. I knew something wasn't right, she finally said. The general has been having private meetings with a group I've never seen before. They don't wear military uniforms or government ID badges. What are you saying? Dr. Wright asked. I think the general already knows something. I need to do some digging. Maya headed for the door. Don't tell anyone else about this yet. The next day, Jack continued repairs on the weapon systems. With the power core working, many of the ship's self-repair functions had activated. Progress was faster now. General Summers visited the engine room, watching Jack work with cold eyes. How soon until this ship is combat ready, he asked. Another 2 weeks, maybe less, Jack replied. We've had some breakthroughs with the shield generators. The general nodded. Good. We'll need to begin combat training soon. I'm bringing in fighter pilots to learn how to operate this vessel. Jack frowned. Sir, Nexus and I have developed a working relationship. The ship responds best to me. You're an engineer, Donovan, not a soldier, Summers said sharply. Your job is to fix the ship. My job is to decide how we use it. After the general left, Nexus spoke. He plans to use the Celestial Talon as a weapon. Against the Arcturians, Jack said. To defend Earth. No. His questions suggest other intentions. He has asked about the ship's stealth capabilities and how quickly it could reach other planets in your solar system. Jack felt uneasy. What are you saying? I believe he intends to use this ship against human targets first to establish control. Before Jack could respond, Dr. Wright rushed in. Her face was pale. Maya's been arrested. They're saying she accessed classified files without authorization. Where are they holding her? Jack asked. No one will tell me. This doesn't feel right, Jack. That night, Jack couldn't sleep. He went to the ship's bridge and began reviewing the communication logs Maya had been examining before her arrest. Nexus, can you decode these transmissions? Yes. They appear to be communications between General Summers and an organization called Vigilance. As Jack read through the decoded messages, the truth became clear. Vigilance was a secret group that had been monitoring alien signals for decades. They had collected crashed alien technology from around the world and reverse-engineered it to create advanced weapons. Most disturbing of all, they had known about the approaching Arcturian fleet for months but kept it secret. They planned to use the invasion as an opportunity to unveil their weapons and take control in the aftermath. They're willing to let millions die just to gain power, Jack whispered. Common flaw in many intelligent species, Nexus observed. Jack made a decision. We need to move up our timeline. Can the Celestial Talon fly now with the repairs we've completed? Yes, but some systems remain at reduced capacity. Weapons are at 60%, shields at 72%. That will have to be enough. Jack began activating the ship's systems. I need to find Maya and warn the world about both threats. Jack used Nexus to hack into the base's security system. He located Maya in a holding cell on the far side of the facility. I can't just leave her there, Jack said. We need her help. I can create a distraction, Nexus suggested, a controlled power surge in the base's electrical system. When the lights flickered and alarms began blaring, Jack made his move. He used his access card to enter the detention area, telling the confused guard that he had orders to move the prisoner due to the electrical issues. Maya was surprised to see him but didn't waste time with questions. Once they were safely back at the ship, Jack explained what he had discovered. I knew they were hiding something, she said, but this is worse than I imagined. Dr. Wright joined them, bringing food and supplies. What's the plan? We need to take the Celestial Talon and meet the Arcturian fleet before they reach Earth, Jack said. Maybe we can negotiate, and we need to expose Vigilance before they can take advantage of the situation. That's crazy, Maya said. Even with the repairs, we're one ship against a battle group. We have one advantage, Jack replied. They won't be expecting humans to be flying an Arcturian warship, and they certainly won't expect how we've modified it. Jack had made numerous improvements to the original design. The human Arcturian hybrid systems were unpredictable but powerful. He had even managed to increase the weapon yield by 30% using principles from Earth physics that the Arcturians had never considered. There's something else, Nexus added. As a Deathworlder, Jack can withstand maneuvers that would incapacitate an Arcturian pilot. This gives us tactical advantages they won't anticipate. Dr. Wright looked at Jack. I'm coming with you. Me too, Maya added. But we'll need a full crew to operate a warship, even with Nexus helping. I know. A few people we can trust, Jack said. Scientists and engineers who've been working on different sections of the ship. They spent the night gathering a small crew. Nathan Lee, a communications expert, Samantha Powell, a weapons analyst, and Caleb Johnson, an engineer almost as talented as Jack. 2 days later, they were ready. Under the cover of a scheduled systems test, they prepared the Celestial Talon for launch. General Summers will realize what we're doing as soon as we power up the engines, Maya warned. By then it will be too late, Jack said, settling into the command chair. Nexus, initiate launch sequence. The ship hummed to life around them. Through the viewports, they could see soldiers running toward them, weapons raised. Here we go, Jack said. Nexus, activate cloaking shield. The Celestial Talon shimmered and vanished from sight. Inside, Jack and his crew felt the subtle vibration as the ship rose from the ground. Setting course for outer atmosphere, Jack said. It's time to take the fight to them. As they ascended into the night sky, leaving Earth behind, Jack realized there was no turning back. They were now fugitives to their own people and heading toward an alien armada that wanted them destroyed. But for the first time in his life, Jack felt like he was exactly where he needed to be. The Deathworlder repaired an alien warship, then it unleashed chaos. Part 4, the Celestial Talon moved silently through the darkness of space. Its cloaking shield, improved by Jack's modifications, kept them hidden from Earth's tracking systems. Inside the ship, the small crew worked to master the alien controls. How long until we reach the Arcturian fleet? Jack asked. Nexus displayed a star map showing their position. At current speed, we will intercept them near the orbit of Jupiter in 27 hours. Jack turned to his crew. Everyone should rest while they can. We'll need to be at our best when we make contact. While the others found places to sleep, Jack stayed on the bridge with Nexus. He stared out at the stars, thinking about how quickly his life had changed. You are concerned, Nexus observed. We're 6 humans in a stolen alien warship about to confront an entire battle group, Jack said. Yeah, I'm concerned. Your species has an unusual ability to function under extreme stress, Nexus said. Arcturians would find your calmness disturbing. Jack smiled. We call it dealing with it. When there's no good option, you pick the least bad one and keep going. A soft beep came from one of the consoles. Detecting an energy signature, Nexus announced. An orbital platform at coordinates 227-184-03. Earth doesn't have platforms that far out, Jack said with a frown. Maya, who had returned to the bridge, looked at the readings. That's where I was told to go before I was arrested. Those coordinates were in a message I received. Jack made a decision. Change course, Nexus, let's check it out. The Celestial Talon altered its path. As they approached the coordinates, they saw a large structure floating in space. It looked like a combination of human and alien technology. It's not broadcasting any identification, Nathan reported from the communication station. Scan it, Jack ordered. Detecting various energy signatures, Nexus replied. Some match known Arcturian technology. Others are unique. Jack looked at Maya. Could this be a vigilance facility? She nodded. It fits with what I learned. They've been collecting alien technology for decades. Should we board it? Dr. Wright asked. It could be a trap, Samantha warned from the weapons station. Jack thought for a moment. We need information. Nexus, can you get us in without being detected? Yes. Their sensors are not designed to detect an Arcturian cloaking field. The Celestial Talon approached the platform and docked at an airlock. Jack selected a small team to explore. Himself, Maya, and Caleb. The others would stay aboard and be ready to extract them if necessary. They wore spacesuits as a precaution, though Nexus had confirmed the platform had a breathable atmosphere. Jack carried a pistol while Maya had a stun baton she had taken during her escape. The airlock cycled and they entered the platform. Inside, the halls were dimly lit and empty. Where is everyone? Caleb whispered. This could be an automated facility, Maya suggested. They moved carefully through the corridors until they reached what appeared to be a control center. Screens displayed data and star maps. One large monitor showed the approaching Arcturian fleet. "They're tracking them, too," Jack said. Maya sat at one of the consoles. "Let me see what I can find." Her fingers moved quickly over the keyboard. "This is definitely vigilance. There's data here going back 50 years. They've been monitoring alien communications, collecting crashed technology, reverse engineering it." "What about General Summers?" Jack asked. Maya pulled up a file. "He's been working with them for 15 years. There are others too. Politicians, military leaders, business people. They've infiltrated governments around the world." Caleb, who had been examining some equipment in the corner, called them over. "Look at this." He had found a room filled with weapons. They didn't look fully human or fully Arcturian, but a strange mix of both. They've been using the alien tech to build their own arsenal, Jack realized. "There's something else," Maya said, reading from a screen. "They know the Arcturians are coming specifically for the Celestial Talon. They're planning to let the aliens destroy our ship, then use the attack as justification to reveal their weapons and take control. They're willing to sacrifice us," Caleb said. Jack's face hardened. "Not if we expose them first. Maya, can you download all this data?" "Already. Working on it." Suddenly, an alarm began to sound. Red lights flashed in the corridor. "We've been detected," Jack said. "Finish the download and let's move." Maya grabbed the data drive. "Got it." They hurried back toward the airlock, but as they turned a corner, they found themselves facing a group of armed guards. At the front stood a woman Jack had never seen before. "Jack Donovan," she said. "I've been looking forward to meeting the man who repaired an Arcturian warship." "Who are you?" Jack demanded. "Director Claire Lawson, head of Vigilance. I see you've been exploring our facility without permission." "We know what you're planning," Jack said. "You're going to let the Arcturians attack Earth so you can take control." Director Lawson smiled. "Not quite. We're going to allow them to destroy you and your stolen ship. Then we'll unleash our fleet of hybrid vessels, much like your Celestial Talon, but built to our specifications." "You have more ships?" Jack asked, shocked. "6 of them, not as advanced as yours, but enough to surprise the Arcturians. We've been preparing for this moment for decades." Maya stepped forward. "You knew about the Void Cascade weapon too, didn't you?" Director Lawson's smile faltered slightly. "What do you know about that?" "Everything," Jack bluffed. "And we've transmitted the data to every major news organization on Earth." It wasn't true, but Lawson didn't know that. She signaled to her guards. "Take them to holding. We'll deal with them after the Arcturian situation is resolved." The guards moved forward, but Jack had been expecting this. He had kept one hand behind his back, holding a small device Nexus had helped him create. He pressed the button. Throughout the station, the lights flickered and died. Emergency power came on, bathing everything in dim red light. "What did you do?" Lawson demanded. "Electromagnetic pulse," Jack explained. "Targeted to affect your systems, but not our suits." In the confusion, Maya used her stun baton on the nearest guard. Jack grabbed his weapon and fired at the ceiling, causing more chaos. Caleb ran for the airlock. "After them!" Lawson shouted as the 3 fugitives sprinted down the corridor. They reached the airlock just as the guards caught up. Laser fire hit the wall next to Jack's head as he pushed Maya through the door. Caleb was right behind them. Jack turned and fired several shots to slow the pursuit, then dived through the airlock. "Nexus, detach now!" The Celestial Talon pulled away from the station as the airlock sealed. Inside, Jack, Maya, and Caleb removed their helmets, breathing hard. "That was close," Caleb said. "Did you get the data?" Dr. Wright asked as they returned to the bridge. Maya held up the drive. "Everything. Their entire operation." Jack turned to Nathan. "Can you broadcast this to Earth?" "Not from here," Nathan replied. "The signal would be too weak. We'd need to be closer." "We don't have time to go back," Jack said. "The Arcturian fleet is still our priority." "So what's the plan?" Samantha asked. "We still don't know if the Arcturians will listen to us." Jack looked at the star map, where the Arcturian fleet was displayed as a group of red dots moving toward Earth. We make them listen. Nexus, how soon can we intercept? 14 hours at maximum speed. Set course, Jack ordered. And help me prepare a message in the Arcturian language. It's time they learned that Deathworlders aren't so easy to intimidate. As the Celestial Talon accelerated toward its meeting with the Arcturian fleet, Jack felt a strange mixture of fear and excitement. They were heading into danger, but they were also making history. Humans were about to make first contact with an alien civilization, not as victims, but as equals. You know, Maya said, standing beside him, if we survive this, we're probably going to be court-martialed when we get home. Jack smiled. One impossible problem at a time. The Deathworlder repaired an alien warship, then it unleashed chaos. Part 5. The Celestial Talon raced through the solar system, approaching the orbit of Jupiter. On the bridge, Jack and his crew prepared for their encounter with the Arcturian fleet. They've detected us, Nathan announced from his station. They're changing formation. On the main view screen, they could see the Arcturian ships, 5 cruisers surrounding a larger command vessel. They were sleek and silver, much more elegant than the battle-scarred Celestial Talon. Open a channel, Jack ordered. Nathan worked the communications panel. Channel open. Jack took a deep breath. Attention Arcturian fleet. This is Jack Donovan aboard the Celestial Talon. We wish to speak with your commander. There was a long pause. Then the screen flickered, and they saw an Arcturian for the first time. The alien was tall and slender with pale blue skin and large almond-shaped eyes. When it spoke, Nexus translated. This is Admiral Varix of the Sovereign Eclipse. You are in possession of a stolen Arcturian warship. Surrender immediately or be destroyed. Jack stood tall. Admiral, we have important information about the Void Cascade weapon. We request a meeting to discuss it. The Admiral's expression changed slightly. How do you know of that device? It is classified. We learned it from Nexus, who was part of Captain Solaris's crew. They came to warn us. Admiral Varix narrowed his eyes. Captain Solaris was a traitor. Her ship was lost in battle. No. Jack replied. She crashed on our planet deliberately to hide from those who wanted to silence her. We repaired her ship. There was another long pause. Then, Admiral Varix spoke again. Very well. You may dock with the Sovereign Eclipse, but only you and 3 others may board. The rest must stay on your vessel. The communication ended. Jack turned to his crew. It could be a trap, Samantha warned. Of course it is, Jack agreed. But it's our only chance to prevent a war. Jack selected his boarding party. Dr. Wright for her scientific knowledge, Nathan for communications, and Maya for security. The others would remain on the Celestial Talon with Caleb in command. If something goes wrong, Jack told Caleb, take the ship and warn Earth. Use the data we got from Vigilance. We won't leave you, Caleb promised. That's an order, Jack said firmly. Earth safety comes first. The Celestial Talon docked with the massive Sovereign Eclipse. Jack and his team wore simple uniforms that Nexus had helped design, based on Arcturian diplomatic attire. Remember, Jack said as they approached the airlock, Arcturians evolved in lower gravity. They're physically weaker than humans, but their technology is far advanced. Stay alert. They stepped through the airlock into the Arcturian ship. The corridor was tall and narrow, designed for the slender aliens. The gravity felt lighter, making Jack feel strangely buoyant. A group of Arcturian guards met them. The aliens moved with a graceful, flowing motion that seemed almost like dancing. Each carried a staff that hummed with energy. Follow, one of them said in heavily accented English. They were led through winding corridors to a large chamber. Admiral Varix waited there, seated on a raised platform. Other Arcturians stood nearby, watching the humans with curious eyes. So, these are the Deathworlders who repaired a warship, Varix said. Impressive but foolish. You have no idea what you've involved yourselves in. Jack stepped forward. We know exactly what we're involved in. The Void Cascade weapon is a planet killer. It violates the laws of warfare in every civilized society. And, how would primitives like you know our laws, Varix asked. Dr. Wright spoke up. We may be new to interstellar politics, but some principles are universal. Mass destruction is wrong, no matter who does it. Admiral Varick studied them. You seem very concerned about a weapon you've never seen, in a war that doesn't involve you. It does involve us, Jack countered. You were planning to test it in our system, weren't you? The Admiral's expression confirmed it. Your sun is isolated enough for a controlled test. No one would miss one primitive world. Maya took a step forward, her hand near her hidden weapon. You would destroy billions of lives for a test? Regrettable, but necessary, Varick said coldly. The Dominion requires superior weapons to maintain order. Nathan, who had been quietly operating a small device in his pocket, caught Jack's eye and nodded. They had been broadcasting this conversation back to the Celestial Talon, where Caleb was recording everything. We won't let that happen, Jack said. Earth will defend itself. Admiral Varick laughed. With what? Your primitive weapons? Even your stolen warship is no match for our fleet. Maybe not, Jack admitted. But we've learned something important about your people. You underestimate species you consider primitive. That's a dangerous mistake. As they spoke, Jack noticed Arcturian technicians working at consoles around the room. They seemed to be preparing something. Enough talk, Varick said. You will remain here as prisoners while we destroy your ship. Then we will continue with our mission. Jack gave a signal to his team. Maya moved first, throwing a small device onto the floor. It released a bright flash of light that disoriented the Arcturians, whose eyes were sensitive. In the confusion, Jack and his team fought their way back toward the corridor. The Arcturians were physically weaker, as expected, but their energy, staffs were dangerous. Nathan was hit in the arm and fell. Go! He shouted to the others. Get back to the ship. Maya hesitated, then grabbed Nathan and helped him up. Together they ran through the corridors, following the path back to the airlock. Alarms blared throughout the ship. They're powering weapons, Dr. Wright shouted, looking at a display on her wrist device. They reached the airlock just as Arcturian guards appeared behind them. Maya fired her weapon, forcing the aliens to take cover. Get in! Jack yelled. They tumbled through the airlock back into the Celestial Talon. Nexus, detach now, Jack ordered. The ship pulled away from the Sovereign Eclipse just as energy beams lanced out from the Arcturian vessel. Shields holding at 83%, Caleb reported. Evasive maneuvers, Jack commanded, taking the pilot's seat. Nexus, prepare the hybrid weapon system. Jack had installed a special weapon, combining Arcturian energy technology with human guidance systems. It was unpredictable but powerful. The Arcturian cruisers moved to surround them. The Celestial Talon twisted and turned, avoiding their fire. Jack pushed the ship harder than any Arcturian would dare, using the higher gravity of his homeworld to his advantage. His body could withstand maneuvers that would knock an Arcturian unconscious. They're targeting Earth, Samantha shouted. The command ship is launching something. On the screen, they saw a missile leave the Sovereign Eclipse, heading toward the inner solar system. That must be the Void Cascade, Jack realized. Nexus, intercept course. The Celestial Talon shot forward, racing after the missile. The Arcturian cruisers pursued them. We can't outrun both the missile and the cruisers, Caleb warned. Jack made a split-second decision. Nexus, transfer all power to engines. We need to catch that missile. The Celestial Talon surged forward, gaining on the missile, but the Arcturian ships were close behind. Jack, Dr. Wright said quietly. Even if we reach it, how do we stop it? Jack looked at his crew, brave humans who had followed him into space to save their world. We use the hybrid system. Nexus says it can create a resonance field that might disrupt the missile's guidance, but we'll need to be close, very close. Everyone understood what that meant. It might be a one-way mission. Let's do it, Maya said. The others nodded in agreement. The Celestial Talon caught up to the missile. Jack maneuvered the ship directly in its path. Hybrid system activated, Nexus announced. The ship vibrated as the experimental system powered up. On the view screen, they could see the missile approaching rapidly. Brace for impact, Jack warned. But instead of crashing into them, the missile suddenly changed direction. Jack stared in amazement. We did it, he whispered. We took control of it. The missile now responded to the Celestial Talon's commands. Jack turned it around, aiming back toward the pursuing Arcturian ships. Targeting the Sovereign Eclipse, Nexus confirmed. Admiral Varix's face appeared on the screen. What have you done? What Deathworlders do best, Jack replied. Improvise. The Arcturian ships scattered, trying to escape their own weapon. Sovereign Eclipse activated a jump drive, disappearing in a flash of light. Half the fleet escaped with it, but 2 cruisers were destroyed. As the chaos subsided, a new group of ships appeared on their sensors. More Arcturians? Dr. Wright asked worriedly. No, Nexus replied. These are ships from the Coalition. An alliance of species fighting against the Arcturian Dominion. A friendly voice came over the communication system. Celestial Talon, this is Admiral Kira of the Coalition. We received your broadcast about the Void Cascade. Thank you for your bravery. Earth will be welcome in our alliance. Jack looked at his tired but triumphant crew. Tell Admiral Kira we accept. And that Earth has a lot more Deathworlders ready to help. As they turned the Celestial Talon toward home, Jack thought about how much had changed in just a few weeks. Humans were no longer alone in the universe. They had enemies, yes, but also allies. And they had shown that sometimes being from a death world had its advantages.